What's going on, everybody? We're going to get ready to get this show started, and we're definitely going to try to shut the book on the Indianapolis Colts, and we're going to get ready to go across the pond to jolly old London and try to go see how we're going to get a win against the Baltimore Ravens. Hopefully, my bike will act right at least for a while, God willing. But I appreciate everybody being patient with me and just working with me. We're going to we'll work through any malfunctions, and we'll get the show done and get everybody, make sure everybody have a good time. So we're definitely going to get ready to get the show started. And I got a nice guest coming on for you as we're going to talk about these rap birds and how we could get a win. So let's get ready to get the show started. We're going to get it going in less than 60 seconds.
Hope you can still go. I never ran, should've known, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter.
Good evening, Titan Nation. How is everybody? Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Thank y'all for sticking with me. I know I'm a few minutes behind, but welcome into TNT tonight. I'm your man, Blue Enforcer, aka The Truth, and we are going to have a very good episode for you on this evening as we're going to shut the door on that embarrassing, humiliating loss to the Indianapolis Colts as we get ready to head across the pond to jolly old London and take on those rat birds, the Baltimore Ravens. I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday and everything. I know getting over that loss is pretty difficult and everything, but we're definitely gonna try to move on, and we're definitely gonna try to have a good time, nevertheless. And so I'm gonna bring in a very special guest with me to definitely talk about this game and go a little bit further. And if you don't know him, you should get to know him. It is my guy, Mr. Lee Hillis, aka Mr. 615 from the 615 podcast. Uh, Lee, how you doing, sir?
Uh, Pretty good, pretty good. Time to, as you said, shut the book on Indianapolis.
Absolutely, you definitely gotta shut the door. We gotta shut the door on this one. I gave, for a lot of you, I gave my thoughts on yesterday about how I felt on this game. Lee, really quick, just your quick thought on that loss yesterday. I mean, on that loss to Indy. Lee, I got you.
Well, I'm going to say this. Yeah. I'm just going to say this. There are a few things that need to be cleaned up going into London this weekend. The run defense needs to be 10 times better because you're facing an even better mobile quarterback in Lamar Jackson. But my thoughts DeAndre Hopkins, you're really starting to see what DeAndre Hopkins can be with Derrick Henry in the backfield.
Absolutely. And I do think, and I will say this, I don't think the run defense is ever going to be like that again, at least for a long time. We know this run defense is better than it is. And I really do think that this defense will be better than what they've shown in that last game. But it does depend on who's there and who's not. And, that's going to be very much an important part of all of this. But again, like I said, it was a bad loss. Didn't enjoy it. And we're going to definitely move on to that. But definitely want to give some love to some people that are here. Lou Man is out there. I know Lou Man is definitely one of my day one. Titan Fox is in there. We got our average troll, XD Gamer, who just seems to be all happy that those lowly pussycats, the Jaguars, won, which, I mean, hey, they did something we didn't do, and that was win a game. But, I mean, it is what it is. AZ says I'm disgusted.
Of course, we ran
Titan
into
South
the
out of
resident
Cali.
hater.
I agree.
But Rossi and I
Of
ran
course,
into the resident
Kent, our resident glass half empty. I'm not going to call him a Titans hater. I'm going to call him Mr. Glass half empty now. Because he's like, don't get your hopes up. Keep them low. I am going to go ahead and say this now. I don't have a good feeling about this game. Let's just be honest.
But yeah, of course, I met Kent for the first time over the weekend in Indy and up in Indy. What a character the dude is.
I would not disagree. That guy, good dude, by the way, y'all. Good dude, by the way. His foundation does a lot of great things as far as, getting young kids involved in fishing, hunting, things like that. I mean, that is I've always touted him for that because that is an excellent thing that him and his foundation do for the kids and for the young folks, because they do need a better outlet than what may be out there. And this is an extra skill. So I'm going to give Kent a shout out right there. And also shout out to the missus. I know she's got something going on today. But yes, he is an interesting guy. So that much is a fact.
And of course, I hate to do this. I hate to do this as a Titans fan. Shout out to Colts Nation. They were some of the nicest fans you will ever meet outside of Titans Nation.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to a Colts fan. I cannot remember his name, but he commented on my live stream. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it. But he definitely showed, he showed me some love on there, and definitely said, as a Colts fan, as a Colts fan, I definitely, appreciate appreciate the show and everything. Did a good job and everything with that, which I definitely appreciated that. Yeah. So, definitely got to give a shout out to the Colts fans. Definitely showing some love and things like that. XD Gamer, I've already mentioned you already, you hater. Be quiet. Oh my God. Be like, be quiet. I'm not even. I'd be like, don't maybe put you in timeout again, sir. I already did that once. Making sure I didn't ban you this time. Some Jags fans are nice. I don't know. All of y'all, some of y'all are a little suspect on your niceness.
XD gamer.
That has a need for validation. Okay, y'all. We're not gonna let this show get off the rails. Let's just keep going.
But
We shut the book on Indy. We're disgusted by that, but it's time to move on. Again, as we keep going, y'all make sure you smash that like button. Definitely go ahead and give a like to the show. And also hit the subscribe button as well. Hit that bell, ring the bell, and hit all for notifications. Make sure y'all go check out the 615 podcast as well. With Lee definitely brings the fire. And he always seems to have better guests than me. I don't like that.
and of course, we've now added a co-host to the 615 podcast. Gary Bailey from What's Shaking Titans is the co-host.
Yeah, and actually I got to get him on. And I actually had a good time with him and everything. But
yeah, we dropped a new episode a few hours ago with George Plaster, which that was fun to sit and talk with him, Titans, Colts, and we've somewhat looking ahead to Baltimore. So be on the lookout for that. Dropped a few hours ago. Video will drop tomorrow morning on the Titan Upload Network. And of course, Chris said go over and grab me. Go ahead and also grab the Titan Upload Network here on YouTube also. We just crossed 11.5 thousand subscribers on YouTube.
And that's great. And my apologies on that. My microphone decided again. I think I have a better idea how I'm gonna do this. I have to get on. I'm gonna get on my wife's laptop going forward. Maybe hers will act better than this, which I don't like this computer right now because this computer wants to act stupid with me. But definitely, y'all check out the 615 podcast. Y'all check out Lee. He does bring out some very good content, and the guy's on fire. He had Mike Keith on one episode. I'm still jealous. He still ain't told me how I can get in touch with him, but I'm gonna figure that. We gonna figure that out. But let's keep going. And
we just had George Plaster. We had Colton Hicks, aka Hicksify.
I like
2
that.
weeks ago.
I like that. But it's time to give out our Two-Tone Blue Star of the Week award. And I kind of already know where I'm going with this. I think it's a pretty obvious pick, but I'm going to let everybody chime in a little bit as we we talk about this. So let's see, we're going to get a few comments in here. Oh God. XD Gamer is like really like, if you put some Jag stuff out, XD, I will definitely troll yours too. I will troll yours just to say bad stuff about how the Beach Boy probably can't surf Trevor Lawrence, how Doug Peterson looks like a grandpapa, stuff like that. So obviously Ms. Mims still not a very happy camper as far as the loss is concerned, and I would not expect anything different. She is dedicated.
And Kent Woods, I agree. And to Kent Woods, I agree. If the Titans don't keep Henry on the field, they won't win another game.
Well, we're definitely going to find some stuff out after this week. We're going to definitely find out some stuff this week.
Has already got his pick in here.
Absolutely. But our Two-Tone Blue Star of the Week, let's get some nominees out. Looks like Derek going with D-Hop. AZ Mick going with the folk hero, Nick Folk. I could go with Nick Folk because, the guy has been absolute gold since he's been here. Hasn't missed a kick all year. So, hopefully I haven't messed that up by any means. But as we get some more nominees out.
I could go one or two places.
Was that?
I could go one or two places. I agree with Derek. D Hop is one, but I would have to go to. I would have to go to the Colts side. Josh Downs or Zach Moss.
I keep it Titan centric on that, even though I will say I would probably lean more towards Zach Moss because I did not expect that to happen. I mean, if that was Jonathan Taylor, I could probably see it. I could definitely see it, but I could
But
definitely go that route. I mean, BLVG 901.
Zacchaeus Moss.
Derrick Henry needs to be with us when we build that new stadium. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be on the team when that stadium opens. I hope so. Let's see. Titan Fox says D-Hop, Folk,
He
maybe
won't be.
Spears. Only three people that really balled out. I mean, Spears did get that touchdown, which I thought was impressive. And
And
I've been hearing
congrats,
a lot of
congrats to the kid.
yes, absolutely. And there's been a lot
Congrats
of
to the kid on his first NFL touchdown.
his first career touchdown, yes. And there's a lot of talk out there that Tajay Spears needs more touches. Now, I know a lot of y'all will think, oh God, you're basically trying to take the ball away from Derrick Henry. Not exactly. No. We're not saying don't keep Derrick Henry on the field, but we're saying Tajay needs the ball a few more times too. Go ahead, Lee.
You have Henry and Spears.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Pete says, boy, I don't get this team at all. Can't build off of wins. Can't press any wide receiver. Throws out the time of the routes. All I can say is 1, 2, 3 times. I know that's right. But here's my two-tone blue star of the week, and I think it's pretty obvious. It is DeAndre Hopkins because D-Hop is starting to show himself to be the legit badass that he's always been. Yes, I would like for him to get in the end zone. And with Burks struggling to get back.
Plaster said it well today.
What's that?
George Plaster said it well today. That DeAndre Hopkins is looking like DeAndre Hopkins of old this last weekend.
Well, if he keeps looking like that, that's gonna do wonders for us, especially with Burks not being able to stay healthy. And newsflash, he didn't practice again today. So we're gonna have to figure some things out. But I like D-Hop. He's the two-tone blue star of the week. And as everybody knows, I mean, I will say, I'm going to give honorable mention to the folk hero because the folk hero has definitely been money. I will not say a bad word about the folk. The whole folk and nothing but the folk.
For me,
hey, I don't give a folk.
I'm going to go for my two. For my star of the week, I'm going Zach Moss.
I understand.
I'm going
beat the strength.
Zach Moss.
A lot of fans are not going to like you for that one, but I understand I understand your objective reasoning.
Like a freaking high school. He made our defense look like a high school defense.
And that is a damn shame. That is a damn shame. You know, if Spears is more effective giving him the ball, I mean, I definitely agree. I definitely do agree with that. But whenever there's a star of the week, there is a dunce, or maybe in this case, dunces of the day. because there are quite a few thoughts I have on this one.
I know where everybody's going. I
And
know where everybody's going.
I think I might know where everybody's going
Titan
too.
Fox just
And
Titan Fox just said,
I have a little difference. And see, really just now thinking about that, I have a little different thought on this one. So we go see. Of course, Titan Fox, Fulton. AZ Mick, Fulton. XD Gamer, Chig. For once, XD Gamer actually makes a little sense for a moment. Practice schedule maker.
because of course we had of course George Plaster on the show. He mentioned that the Titans must have put Chig in witness protection.
I don't know, because I mean,
They
Chig,
must have put Chig.
they must have put bricks on his hands because he can't catch.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, oh wow. Titan Fox says,
But DeAndre
can't count
Hopkins
Chig or drop woe.
made the Colts
He wasn't
secondary
targeted
look
that
silly.
often because he was making butter before the game and forgot to wash his hands. And here, yes, that's another one. That's another one. I will definitely say, Fulton's dad definitely, at the end of the show, he deserves his own segment, and we gonna get into that. But we know a lot of people go on Christian Fulton, Breaker 225, Breaker 225, Breaker 225. This is TNT 070 coming in. We see we got your vote for Christian Fulton. Thank you, sir. And of course, BB go with AZ, and that's not a bad pick either, because I'm kind of ticked off at AZ and Aziz, because he always tries to go for that killer hit instead of wrapping up and tackling the guy. And you know, instead of wrapping up tackling the guy, and he bounces off and gets a few more yards. Now, Miss Mims, I have to disagree with you on this one. Tannehill is one of the least problems we have right now at the moment. As much as I've given up on Tannehill, I've talked trash about Tannehill. Tannehill is not at fault. That last interception, it was kind of out of desperation. We had to do something at the end. This game is not on Tannehill. This is not Tannehill's fault. And anybody that does play Tannehill, you are wrong. Tannehill is the least of the reason we lost this game. One of the very few reasons we did any good. So Tannehill is not responsible for what happened in this game. So Lee, who is your dunce of the day?
I'm gonna say this: Tannehill. Before I get into that, I'm gonna say Tannehill looked like Tannehill. And
that could go either way.
In the last few weeks, you saw the mobility come back, but the Titans
I'll make sure I didn't lose you
altogether.
What's that?
Can you hear me?
I got you.
I said, can you hear me?
Yep. I hear you loud and clear. Talk to me.
But I said Titans defense. I said my dunce is the Titans defense altogether.
I cannot argue with that.
because
I can't argue with that
going into that game, you had a
because
top 3 defense against the run. You give up close to 200 yards. You give up close to
hey,
200 yards on the ground, and one up and the running back that beat you was a backup in Zach Moss.
now you won't get no
And he
argument
put
from
up,
me.
what, like 100 and almost 107 on the ground? That's not normal for the Titans defense.
I agree because
Part of me, and don't get me wrong, part of me thinks the Titans were looking past Indianapolis to Baltimore.
and if that's the case, they deserve to lose because that you never do that in the division game. And I was very surprised with the run
I
defense.
really had high hopes.
I was, that's the thing that did shock me. Was
Yes,
how piss poor we were against the run. And as you said, we've been like top 2, top 3 against the run for the last 2 years. That's something we've hung our hat on. And the fact that the Colts did it on what we felt was the strength is even more embarrassing. And it makes you question, is this defense really that good at all? I mean, it does make you wonder. So I will say this. My dunce of the day
and I'm going to say this.
is not who you think. Even though the defense does deserve that. Fulton deserves a lot of it too. However, the dunce of the day, I'm going back to the top. People are not going to like me saying this. This is Mike Vrabel's fault. Because he could have pulled Christian Fulton and didn't. He could have pulled him, got his sorry tail out of there. And as usual, I really do think Mike Vrabel is insane. Because again,
And
what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same
I know
thing
you saw the
over and
tweet from
over,
TD.
expecting a different result. And that's what he's been doing. He did that with Dennis Daly. He's kind of doing that with Andre Dillard, and he's doing that with Christian Fulton now. He is insane. He thinks, well, I'll just keep trotting him out there, and he'll be better. And we're seeing it's not getting any better. If anything, it's getting worse. And we're seeing this. Only problem is Vrabel doesn't see it. And, if Vrabel keeps going at this route, no matter how much collaboration, no matter how much ass he done kissed of Amy Adams Strunk, Rand Carthon has no loyalty to him. Even if, Amy will be like, I want y'all to work together. At the end, Randy tell Amy, hey, do I have the power to let me have the power to make this move if I need to. And it's going to come a point. Rand's going to be like, it's either you or me, and it ain't finna be me. So, that's kind of what I thought. Lee, I didn't mean to cut you off on that one.
But I was going to say, going into this game, the Titans in 20 games, or 21 now, had not had a 100-yard rusher until Sunday.
Exactly.
And DO9, that's a great question.
Is Rand even in charge?
That's a great question right here from DO9.
And I mean, he needs to show it.
I don't even know.
Steven says, a rerun of a bad movie. And I'm going to say this, and we're going to get into the Ravens in just a second.
And Tim Kelly,
Well, Tim Kelly didn't call that bad of a game. It's just when we got into the red zone, it seemed like we disappeared and didn't find a way to score. And
the fourth and
again,
one
this falls
play,
on Mike Vrabel.
the fourth and
And
one play is the worst play I have ever seen. Why are you going? Why are you lining? Why are you lining? The question is, why are you on fourth and one at the 5? If you convert, it's first and goal. Why are you lining up in shotgun, running basically a halfback delay or a halfback draw? Why? When you know it takes your running back 2 to 3 steps to get going. And why is NWI out there on the edge blocking? He missed Zaire Franklin. Zaire Franklin broke through, blew Derrick Henry up.
that's true. That's true. And I wasn't against going for it on 4th and 1. I had no issue going for it on 4th and 1. Like you, I hated the play
No,
call. I hated the play call. I'm like, if you're going for it on
neither
4th
did
and
I.
one, jumbo package,
The
put
play
Big Jeff
call,
or somebody in that fullback,
yes,
and you run it with Derrick Henry, you get that 1 yard. Or you sneak with Tannehill.
yes. Go I formation, go I formation. Run a play action for crying out loud. Get DeAndre Hopkins back corner, back shoulder fade.
Yeah, kind of have him inside
Have
there
line the
and sneak
gun.
him out.
Have Derek on the left hip.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot more
Exactly.
simpler plays they could
Have
have
Derek
called on
liable.
that one.
Have
So
Derek liable Tannehill's left hip.
I agree with that.
Exactly. So
But
have D Hop on a fade back corner. Have have Derek lined up on the left hip of Tannehill. Go play action, throw it over the top,
or even maybe a little bit of read
or get a
option.
slant from
You
D Hop.
know, fake to Henry. Tannehill goes around. If there's a lane, you go through it.
Because
If
they
not,
couldn't
like you
stop
said,
D
throw it
Hop.
up a little bit. Somebody might be there. But neither here nor there. But let's play a little stock up, stock down. And everybody, I want y'all to tell me, whose stock do y'all feel have went up, and whose stock do you feel has kind of went down? And I mean, I like that. The butt push
That's
quarterback
smart.
sneak. It's not difficult.
Or
Yeah. And we're definitely going to find out some things on this team. But let's play stock up, stock down. And here we're going to start stock up. And this is kind of what I got in mind. Stock up. I'm going with DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going with Nick Folk. I'm going Tannehill stock going up a little. And the offensive line slowly starting to creep up. A little bit piece by piece. So those are a couple of guys I think their stock is up. D09, he keeps saying IHOP. I'm like D-Hop. Brandon says stock up AFC South. I mean, yeah. Wow. Steven saying stock up Tajay Spears. D-Hop stock up. I definitely do like that. But Lee, any couple of guys you feel the stock is up?
uh I'm going to agree with for sure two of yours. DeAndre Hopkins, his stock is definitely up, and then Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, you're seeing a different side to right now in that game. Going into London, I hope you continue to see that progression. Somebody, of course, you could say like you could say Peter Skoronsky because he looked solid, and then
Mm-hmm.
of course Big Dog, a guy that didn't even get a touch on Sunday. You're seeing a different. You're seeing a difference from in Chris Moore.
Yeah. And so I could get down with that. I definitely like some of those choices right there for stock up. But now,
And Titan Fox, and of course Titan Fox, Chris Moore didn't even have a single target on Sunday.
no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He did not have a target. But also, let's take a look at stock down because there's quite a few of those. We've seen a few, but here are mine. Stock down, the entire defense. Their stock went down. That's Byard included, that's Simmons included, and hopefully Simmons will be good to go. I mean, he did talk to the media today. So hopefully that is a decent sign for him going forward. Is him playing in London. But definitely the whole defense stock is down. Vrabel stock is down, and Vrabel stock has been going down with me for quite some time. Chig stock is really starting to drop. Fulton, his stock ain't just dropped. His stock is dead. DEAD, dead. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Fulton is just not that good. Chase says Vrabel has bad game management. And I agree because you had a chance to call timeouts and conserve some time and you didn't. Ty Fox says Byard and Aziz. I can't disagree with that. Steve Crosio going with Shane Bowen. Again, any defensive player, you are not going to get an argument from me because a lot of their stock has went down a little bit. But I will say this. I do think at least the run defense, they're not going to look this bad again, in my honest opinion. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I hope I'm right. Let me say that. Let me hope I'm right on that. Let's see. Big Dog says Josh Wilder's stock is up. His stock is starting to go up. Josh Wilder's stock is starting to go up. And Landry, him and Arden Key have both been pretty darn quiet. Lee, the floor is yours. Who you have stock down?
So Titans fans may crucify for this. Stock down for me right now after this game, Derrick Henry.
Ooh. Yeah, you might be talking blasphemy to some people right now.
Sunday was unlike Derrick Henry. I'm going to agree with Steve Crosio. Shane Bowen, completely.
Yeah.
Number 3, yes, I'm agreeing with you on Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, what he's doing is quote unquote coaching malpractice.
Absolutely.
And then I'm gonna agree with Christian Fulton. Not only is his stock dead, it is buried 6 foot down, or even further.
Exactly.
After being lit on fire.
it is all the way dead. And there's no reviving it.
Dead.
So
It's dead. It's okay. Here's what's happened. It's died completely. It has been cremated and then buried 12 foot down.
absolutely.
That is Christian Fulton stock.
And another person's stock who has died as well, Christian Fulton's dad. His stock has died too. Because they're killing him on Twitter. They're killing him on X. So I am definitely down with that now. I told you some people gonna come for you with Henry. But I will say this again. I'm not gonna say that Derrick Henry's stock is down.
Me, but like if you go back and look, I made this. I made this statement today, and it's dealing with Derrick Henry's rushing stats from these first 5 games. Week 1, he carried the ball 15 times. What happened? They lost. Week 2, he carried the ball 25 times. We won. Game 3, he carried the ball 11 times. We lost. Week 4, he carried the ball 22 times. He carried the ball 13 times. And we lost. So I made the sick. We'll have to
got out of the ball at least 20 times. Yeah. And a lot of times the game dictates that. And, you know, when he usually carries the ball about 20 times, Titans tend to win. That is very true. And that is a very true stat on that. I mean, I definitely agree.
It doesn't help when your offensive line. Yes, big dog, we did.
And that is why I say the offensive line stock is up.
I will send
a little.
Chris and he can post it.
But I will always say this.
Here.
Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry until he's not. And right now, I'm just not going to believe that Derrick Henry is not Derrick Henry. Now, if they start to continue, then maybe there could be a point. But we all know that Derrick Henry starts off slow and then he just goes nuts. But we are getting close to Henry's season, November, December, and that's usually where he tends to go crazy. And I will say, Brandon, you're half right on this one. And when I say that because I look at the whole team. They are the most inconsistent team in the NFL. They are excellent at that. They are consistently inconsistent. So that is why some stocks are up, some stocks are down. And if you got stock on some of those guys that are down, you might want to cash out now while you can. Fulton, you ain't going to get much out of that. He ain't worth a 7th round pick right now. He ain't worth a conditional 7th round pick at the moment. But I think it's time to talk some rap birds. Let's talk some rap birds a little. Because
and so as pod this week we discussed this week we discussed our top 5 trades on the pod this week ahead of the trade deadline, which is 20 days from now.
Mm-hmm.
And we've paired in all of them. We've paired either Ryan Tannehill and Christian Fulton, or just Ryan Tannehill or Christian Fulton. There was even one where I traded Ryan Tannehill, Christian Fulton, and Nico Autry.
Autry's untouchable. Ain't too many guys on the defense I'm touching.
But I did go
that
get
defensive line must stay
Travarius
intact.
Ford. And I did go get Travarius Ward. But there was another trade where I went and,
but San Francisco's not giving them up.
Gary, one trade that he did was Tannehill and one other pick for J.C. Horn from Carolina.
I don't know if Carolina's giving Horn up. Although, I mean, anybody would be better than Fulton right now. Anybody would be better than Fulton right now. That I do agree.
Yeah.
And
anybody. I would have went and jumped on Josh Norman.
Josh Norman is probably still somewhere in the stratosphere from when Derrick Henry knocked him into the stratosphere a few years ago.
Buffalo.
He ain't came back to Earth yet. He's probably living on some other planet. Josh Norman is on some other planet.
But yeah, Buffalo just signed him.
They should have kept him in space. The final frontier.
You hear me?
But yes, really. Oh my God.
Yep.
D09, you could not be more wrong. Please tell me you're just joking. I think you're being sarcastic, and I appreciate that. Fulton is definitely a problem. Josh Norman signed to the Bills practice squad, so he actually did come back down to earth. Dang. Although Josh Norman probably would be better than Fulton right now. I mean, I can't lie about that. You know, him in the stratosphere would be better. So,
question: Would you be against and going and pulling some out of retirement like Richard Sherman?
Richard Sherman is not coming out of retirement. I mean, I don't think he's officially retired, but he making too much money broadcasting. He ain't coming out of the booth. I mean, I love my Blue 5 brother, but he ain't coming out of the booth. He ain't coming out of the booth. D09.
Ian?
He may not be the main problem because, and you're right, he's not the main problem because the main problem is the guy who's supposed to be coaching him, and his name is Mike Vrabel. That's your problem. He is a problem, just like I think slightly Tannehill is a problem. They're not, and Fulton, I think defensively, Fulton is the problem, but as far as the whole team, he's just a problem. So I do get with that. But let's talk some rap birds. And let's go ahead and get into that as we get the rap birds, the Ravens. I'll call them the Ravens. Let's be professional here. Coming in at 3-2, they fall to the Pittsburgh Steelers 17-10 after they led 10-0. And Pittsburgh makes their comeback and finds a way to win. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This Baltimore Ravens team, defensively, they're good. They're like Browns good, which is part of the reason, as I was looking up the numbers, I don't have a good feeling about this game because of that alone with their defense. Roquan Smith, just about a bouquet. You got Marlon Humphreys back. You got a young safety by the name of Hamilton, who is probably going to become one of the better safeties in the game. And this Raven team, defensively, They can bring you from anywhere. Patrick Queen is another. Kyle Hamilton is his name. Very, very good football player. A very good football player. And even without J.K. Dobbins, you still got Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, who both could be good runners with Lamar Jackson. And then I am terrified of Zay Flowers. I am terrified of what this guy might do to our defense, particularly against a Christian Fulton, which if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm throwing at 26 as much as possible anyway. I would throw at Christian Fulton all day if I could. Because he's either going to get burned by, like I say, Flowers, or get a pass interference on Nelson Aguilar or something like that. But, you know, they're definitely top 5. They're top 10 in all defensive categories. They're middle of the pack in offensive category, but one thing they do well, which we got to get back to, is running the football. They're 4th in running the ball. We're 9th in stopping the run, where we were top 5. And I think, again, the Titans have a chance to get back into that top 5 of run defense. I have hope that what happened Sunday was an anomaly. And I think it will. Now, Teair Tart, Big Jeff don't play, which I do think Big Jeff is playing because he is going on the trip. If both of them play, I feel better. If neither play, only one, there could be a question. But it's all about discipline. So, Lee, your initial thoughts on the Ravens before we get into my Blue Enforcer 4 points to victory and how they can win this game. The Ravens, we got history.
We got too much history. A lot of I'm fixed to make a freaking pun here. We have too much bad blood. A little Taylor Swift pun for all you Taylor Swift fans out there. But yeah, those 2 inside linebackers, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. Roquan
Good
Smith
tandem.
and Patrick Queen on the inside at the linebacker position. Somewhat scary. They're scary. But then you look at the secondary, Marlon Humphrey at the right corner. Your nickel is Kyle Hamilton. But then you head back into the linebacking core at the left outside linebacker, a guy that has a whole lot of history with the Titans, Jadeveon Clowney.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the clown is on Baltimore.
Definitely. Yeah, the clown. I will not disagree with that. And
But then the offense, and like you mentioned, the offense there's nothing to play with. It's nothing to joke about. Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, Nelson Aguilar, Rashad Bateman, and Devin Duvernay.
you noticed I said a lot of things I said.
All threats.
I didn't even mention
And then
OBJ.
you throw in a guy like Meyer. And then
I didn't even mention OBJ yet.
yeah.
So
And then throw in the tight end, Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews. B, if you're not scared of the Ravens defense, you might want to start. They're top 10 in every category, except for, I believe, let me go back and take a look, except for run defense, they're top 5 in everything else. Like I said, Browns defense, ring a bell, bring back bad memories of a few weeks ago? Now, they don't have this all-world pass rusher like the Browns do, but they got some guys on that defense. That defense has always been consistently good. And we're about to go into what the Titans got to do to find a way to win. It's not going to be easy, ladies and gentlemen. And all of this, and we haven't even mentioned number 8, L.J. Lamar Jackson, who is still a weapon himself. So, our work is cut out for us in this game, everybody. It is. And we go into the blue enforcer 4 points to victory and how the Titans can find a way to get to 3-3 and hopefully not get to 2-4, because if they get to 2-4, I think it's all she wrote. I think it's time to pack up, sell the farm. It's over. At least temporarily. Now, it could be that situation like 2019, but this ain't the same situation. Point number 1. Hold on, wait a minute. Well, I had point number 1.
Yeah, I agree.
I had point number 1, but point number 1 seemed to have lost me. But I am going to get that for you. So y'all hold on. But point number 1 I had is you've got to cash in on touchdowns. You got to get touchdowns, not field goals. And that's in the red zone. Because against Indy, we didn't have no issue getting into the red zone. It was scoring touchdowns in the red zone that was our issue. So you got to turn field goals into touchdowns, number 1. 2, do not lose yourself along the way. And I think that's kind of what the Titans are doing right now. They're starting to lose themselves. They're starting to lose who they are. And they got to get back to who they are. Now, DeAndre Hopkins is a part of being who they are, along with Derrick Henry. But I say this mainly for the defense. The defense has got to get back to being who they are. And that is that top-notch run defense. And this could be a game that they could do that. I need to deploy a strategy similar to what it was in the playoff game against the Ravens back in 2019-2020. You play that type of defense, you got yourself a shot. You got to get back to being who you are. Do not lose yourself and get sucked into what the Ravens are doing. Number 3, keep Lamar contained. I would rather Lamar try to do damage with us from in the pocket with the pocket closing in on him. Similar to what I said you need to do for Anthony Richardson. And I think we need to definitely have a spy in the middle to make sure he doesn't escape. Because if Lamar escapes, that is trouble. And as Lee said earlier, he is a lot faster than Anthony Richardson.
Not as big.
Not as big, but he's faster. And then last but not least, find the balance. Do your damn job, Christian Fulton. Quit trying to look for picks and just make the right play. Get home on sacks. Don't go for the kill shot, Azeez. Catch the ball, Chig. O-line, open up some holes for Derek. Mike Vrabel, have your team ready to play. Even though I think you're going to London kind of late, and that's going to be a question that I wanted to ask to kind of end the show. Excuse me. Have this team ready to play. Everybody needs to find that balance and do their job. Don't try to do somebody else's job. So those are my 4 Blue Enforcer 4 points to victory. Lee, do you have any thoughts on that before we get to any picks?
I feel like the Titans, I agree, they need to find themselves. They do. And being from the South, we know the saying, don't fix it. So I'm going to go along the same lines. But I'm going to say this. My first one, you have to find a way to get Henry back involved. You need to find a way to get the rhythm back offensively. Why? Number 2, you need to, I agree, do your job. You can. 3, don't let all that's happened up to this point drag you away or drag you down.
Mm-hmm.
And 4, I agree. Don't be trying to make the big play or the big hit. Like Azeez, dude, like he tried to go just lay someone out, and the guy spun off him.
Exactly. He did that
And
twice
Christian Fulton
in the game.
always trying to go for the interception. He got the defensive pass interference both times.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And
I'm gonna throw an honorable mention. What Jacqueline said. Don't be predictable. Use your play action. If Henry's in the game and you see them starting to load that box, Tannehill, use your legs or run play action. Don't be stupid.
absolutely. And that's why I go along the lines of don't lose yourself. Because I think that's what this team is doing. They're losing themselves. They're losing who they are.
Put Henry and Spears out there together.
I wouldn't mind that. So, once again, everybody, I'll make sure I still have Lee there. But once again, get touchdowns, not field goals. And that's something that Tannehill mentioned in his presser. You got to score touchdowns, not field goals. Don't lose yourself along the way. Keep Lamar contained in the pocket. Find a balance to do your job.
Contain.
It's very simple. Discipline.
And I have no clue what you said because you're.
I think I went off there. But I just said at the end, do your job. Just do your job.
Yeah.
you know, like you said, use play action. Don't go for the killer hits or for the killer picks. Just make the simple play. Get Henry involved. And you got to keep him involved. So I definitely do agree with that. Lee,
Exactly.
what is your prediction?
So on the podcast this week, of course, we've done pick'ems every week. After what I saw last week, I don't think the Titans are going to have enough time to get stuff situated between last week and this week, and they're not leaving to go to London till tomorrow night. Give me the Ravens on this. As bad as it hurts me to say, give me the Ravens. I'm going to say 28-21.
Okay. I am trying to pull up the odds on BetMGM. Okay. The Titans are a 4-point dog in this game. So they're a 4-point dog. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to tell you, me and Lee are on the same page. Give me the Ravens too. I think the Titans are not winning this game because I do not have a good feeling about this. AZ Mick is like, God dog, they're going to get blown out. 42-13. Woo, dag. Drumstar says 27-23 Titans. Miss Jackie, they believe there's going to be an upset in the UK. I hope y'all are right. But I'm going 17-13 Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to win. And the Titans are going to be 2-4. And it's going to be time for some change. Because that will mean that Vrabel has lost.
I think there will be a quarterback change.
It's very possible. And it's not all Tannehill's fault, but it's because
if you look, if you go back and look, 2019, the Titans were 2-4 when they made the change from Mariota to Ryan Tannehill. Because I said this, if the Titans don't make a quarterback change, you could possibly see Mike Vrabel gone after the season. If the Titans don't make the playoffs.
And that might be a blessing in disguise, addition by subtraction. Because if you lose this game, you go to 2-4. You got to take a look at the picture.
And I think this, yeah.
You got to take a look at the picture.
You've said it plenty of times, Chris. Mike Vrabel's ego.
Yes. And it's those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And we're repeating it. And
not only that,
Mike Vrabel ain't learning the lesson. And
I'm gonna reiterate.
If you go 2-4, you're looking at you've lost 11 of your last 13 ball games. You would have only been 2-11 in your last 13. It's not good, ladies and gentlemen. It's not good. Miss Jackie, I hope they do prove the naysayers wrong. But I have my doubts. Lee has his doubts. And they are warranted. And so,
Chris, you've said it before, and I'm going to go, and arrogance will be the death of this team.
Bingo. Somebody's gonna eventually listen to me. At least one person does.
Mike Vrabel's got too big of an ego.
And I said we need an offensive-minded head coach.
Mike Vrabel.
Yeah. Agreed. And so that's going to be the end-all, be-all.
There's talks like that if Belichick gets fired, Vrabel could be the replacement in New England.
He can go on up there if he want to. And like I'll help him pack his bags. So, and people might think I'm crazy with that.
You know who I'm hiring?
Who's that?
If I'm Rand Carthon, I'm hiring Eric Bieniemy.
I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be against that. Anybody from Kyle Shanahan tree, maybe Bobby Slowick down in Houston, who he is familiar with. He's familiar with them. I'll be okay with that. Yeah. Offensive-minded head coach only. I don't want no defensive head coach. Defense you can fix. Offense ain't that easy to fix. That would be
great. He
and we'll see.
And Arrogant quarterbacks, Malik Willis and Will Levis, will need a coach like that.
Hey, you're not getting no argument from me. None.
I hate to say it. Since they have made the change at the quarterback coaching position, these quarterbacks have looked like Dennis Daly did last year. A dumpster fire.
Right.
And that quarterback's coach is Charles London. Look at the quarterbacks from last year to this year. Pat O'Hara was the quarterback coach last year. The quarterbacks looked 10 times better last year.
Yeah, now, O'Hara is still on the staff.
Dennis Daly, but he's what the running coach or something, or the passing game analyst or something like that.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and wrap up the show. And I got to get this off my chest. And normally I do my shut your pie hole at the end of the month. But when I saw some of this stuff, I cannot hold back anymore. And I have to do it. I would like to tell, and I want somebody to even actually record this and share it on Twitter, and you can mark me in it, that Christian Fulton's dad needs to shut his damn pie hole. Shut the hell up. Matter of fact, Lee, I got to put myself on solo for a second. Mr. Fulton, I understand you are defending your son. I respect that. Christian Fulton was decent coming out of LSU. But he sucks right now. Sorry for you. I know a lot about football, sir. And Christian Fulton freaking sucks. He is losing us games. And then has the audacity to blame the refs. Saying I can't win against the wide receiver and the refs too. Well, gee, you're helping the refs out. You look stupid. You ain't getting a second contract with this team. So Christian Fulton and Mr. Fulton, both of you, shut your pie holes, please, for the love of God. Just shut up. Because you don't know jack. And the thing, and people are asking, what is he saying? Basically, anybody that said anything bad about Christian Fulton. Like somebody called him a trashy corner. He claps back and says trashy fan. Anybody that says, he's not that good, he comes back and saying, well, you don't know nothing about football. Basically, neither one is taking accountability like, you know this is bad, right? So that's what he's saying, and that's why I say Mike Vrabel needs to not Mike Vrabel, Christian Fulton and Mr. Fulton both need to shut their pie hole for the love of God. And that right there is going to do it. Lee, where can the fine folks find you?
Yeah. Of course, you can find me on X at podcast615, Instagram at the_615 podcast. You can also find me anywhere you get your podcast from. Just search the615. And you can also find me on YouTube, here on YouTube, the615 podcast.
And also the Tighten Up Network as well. Yeah, the Tighten Up Low Network as well. Yeah, definitely make sure y'all give Lee a follow. Definitely go check him out. He does a lot of great content. He's putting a lot of good stuff out there and having bomb guests that are just awesome. And, well, this week, I'm going to do a quick short with my picks for tomorrow night's game. And we're going to go into the weekend and everything as well. Now, I may be doing it a little bit early on Friday because I may be going to the Memphis Tiger game, Tigers Tulane this Friday. So I may record a little bit early. So y'all stay tuned for that. But for myself and for my guy Lee, thank y'all for tuning in to the TNT tonight. And everybody, tighten up because that's all we know how to do. Good night, y'all.